Adrian, good to see you.
Hi.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, Nancy. Hey, Mr.
Hi,
Brooks.
Nancy.
We've never really met. I just keep up with you through meetup. Okay.
Yes, I did. I've been talking to him a couple times. Thank you. That was great. Thank you.
Maybe you can have the building shut down for mold abatement.
So you with the local 5? What's on it? What's on it?
Can you hold it up for us?
We've completed the first part of the registration program. He has to go and get a couple of photos, passport-size photos, and there's one form that has to be notarized.
Wait a minute, guys.
And, they don't. Mr. Hella has just finished completing the first section of the handgun registration process. What he has to do now is go get 2 passport photos taken, and he has to have a form that he's filling out that has to be notarized. They did not have a notary public in the building today, so we've got to go get this thing notarized and pictures taken, and we just return those to the office. And at that point, the registration process is completed. They have to do our background investigation, and they will notify us when everything is clear. In the meantime, he's allowed to take his weapon home, his gun, and he's supposed to trigger lock it and have it dysfunctional and unloaded and leave it in that condition until he's told by the DC police that he has passed the background investigation. No, he said that several weeks, they're not really sure. This is all kind of new. They said it takes several weeks. In most cases, this might be a little faster because it's not as heavy as they thought it was going to be. They thought they were going to have a lot more people registered guns. So it was pretty smooth. It was very quiet back there, and it went very smooth, and everybody was very. Police officers are just excellent. Really got a fine police department. Perfect ladies and gentlemen, and they were very helpful.
Larry, you know how you can get closer.
Good morning. Good morning. You said it was a good day to be here. How you doing today?
Even better because we've begun the process of helping the district begin to recognize our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
A revolver, specifically, it's one of my favorites. It's a buntline type with a magnet, and that's the kind of weapon that has been denied us for 30 years. Normal handgun. We're happy to say that our rights are being recognized.
Did you own that weapon and live in the district of the
I owned that way before the ban was implemented. And kept it out of the district.
So you were a district resident and smoked it out with the gun. And you said something yesterday about because we were able to have a great time with it, but you didn't want to take part in the stuff.
Well, the constitutional process had to be validated, and it took us 32 years to do it.
You could have had that weapon grandfather.
Yes.
Why did you say that?
It was unimportant for the city to know anything. We're still working out the procedure of how much the government needs to regulate the citizens' rights.
What do you think about the overall sort of lack of rush to register? The fact that you're only the third person to successfully register a handgun.
I think I can probably answer that. Is that It's been 30-some years that it's been against the law to have a handgun in your home unless you're a retired sworn police officer and a couple other exceptions. So as you can imagine, over 30 years, I mean, nobody, there are no gun shops around. You can't go to into another state and buy a gun and bring it in. They won't sell you the gun because you're from another state. So, it's not a problem because a lot of people who live here in D.C. just don't own guns. It's probably going to be a slow process. People will start thinking about it and they'll start going out and purchasing the firearm, and then they'll make contact with, like Mr. Sykes, who is the federal firearms dealer here in D.C., and what they'll do is they'll ship it over to him and then he'll transfer it to them. So it's going to take a while. 30-some years with no handguns, there are not a lot of people with handguns, obviously. Now there are a lot of people with handguns that are criminals, but if you're talking about the law-abiding citizenry, they're like Mr. Heller. They either, if they own a gun, they've got it stashed someplace in another state, or they just don't buy one. They just don't have one, and that's probably the most of it.
Mr. Heller didn't need the amnesty for it. He was always a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, he felt like, to answer your question about why didn't he grandfather in, as Dick explained to me when we first conceived of this case, is that he did not want to sanction what he considered to be an unconstitutional process. When the District of Columbia passed a law that said that citizens could not have handguns, he clearly recognized that as a violation of his constitutional rights. And he was not going to sanction it by participating in it, so he removed his guns from the position.
What were your personal problems with the process? Because I know you were worried about being fingerprinted and coming clear at the
To extend my answer to the earlier question, is I'm a District of Columbia Special Police Officer with a municipal police license, and I did not feel that I wanted to take the risk yesterday on the first day and bring a gun in. So you can imagine if a police officer feels there's a risk possibility, you can only imagine what the other citizens that came down without their firearm to register, just how insecure they might feel with this government.
Mr. Heller, can you imagine yourself as a plaintiff yet another lawsuit?
We're talking with the city and we're trying to work it out.
I mean, is it beyond? Can you conceive of yourself going through this whole process again?
Yes, if we have to. If we have to, we absolutely.
We're hoping the city gets it right this time.
To answer your question is that Mr. Heller has told me that he's willing to stick with us all the way. What we would rather have is to convince the city to abide by the ruling that semi-automatic pistols are pistols, period. And you can modify anything. All these excuses about, well, it could be modified, you could add all these extra bullets to it and all. Well, you know, if you put wings on a frog, he wouldn't bump his bottom so much either. You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
Can I ask a question about this? The special police officer. Now, the weapon you would carry would be one owned by the company that employs you, not you, correct?
Yes.
And do you keep that gun in your home? I did. You keep it in your place. Where do you work as an escort?
In the city, private contractor.
At various different locations? Not on city property?
Federal buildings, sometimes city property.
Mr. Heller, can you just give us just your overall feeling within yourself about being here today and holding that gun and taking it home?
Well, my first reaction is we shouldn't have had to be here in the first place. But since we're operating under that constraint, it's a great feeling to be returning to a state of normalcy when it comes to being able to defend your life and your household and exercise your constitutional rights.
It's been a long time coming for you, sir. Are you encouraged?
It's been a long battle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
LR1 50.